Hello, I'm Michael Fox at Jacksonville Center for Reproductive Medicine. In this segment, we want to just touch on the new theory of where insulin resistance and hence PCOS really comes from. So in our genetic world, at least what we would consider the older simplistic genetic world, our thought would be that everything in humans and all diseases probably stem from your genetic code and how that translates into protein production. And so if you have abnormal genes, then that translates into a certain disease process. The newer thought now about insulin resistance, because metabolism, which is one of the key functions in any organism, has to be standardized. You wouldn't think that in nature, that in one species, that there would be multiple types of metabolism that function in one species. So the newer theory is that all our code for metabolism probably is basically the same. But now we think in terms of how the DNA can actually be modified, or that what we would call the expression of the DNA is modified. So some genes are amplified and turned on more than others, and some are suppressed. And so the new thought is that somehow in pregnancy, there's a signal that passes from the mother to the fetus to tell the fetus that it needs to turn on this insulin resistance function or gene. And really, in thinking about that, it has to be some sort of nutritional signal. So if you're a cave person and you live in an area where there's not much food around and there's starvation, stress it's probably a stress signal, then it would be helpful for the species to turn on an insulin resistance gene where you would potentially be able to store more fat, so that if you had to starve for periods of time, that you could survive that, and that way the species would be preserved. So the new idea is that there's probably some signal from mother to baby, and our thought and theory on that is it probably relates to nutrition during the pregnancy, and that's why we work really hard with our patients to encourage them to continue healthy ketogenic nutrition through the pregnancy, which then translates into health in the child.